Good morning and welcome to Beijing. In fact, welcome to the Great Wall of China. I don't know if you can see, but there it is in the background. I found a quiet spot to talk to you this morning. Sorry, I have to pre-record again. I was supposed to be in Hong Kong by now, coming to you live, but I had a terrible flu this week and ended up laid up for 2 days in Tianjin, just resting and recovering. So I'm a bit behind schedule, and I could not leave China without seeing the Great Wall. So I won't be hitting Hong Kong now until a couple of days' time. So you're just going to have to deal with me pre-recorded, I'm afraid. So after 2 weeks in China, I want to talk to you about the taboo that is religion in China, and if I think that is actually true. So I've been here, I've been to 7 different towns, I've stayed with 7 different families, I've met loads and loads of people, and I have experienced a multitude of faiths in China. I have met expats who are Christians and Muslims and Buddhists. I've met local people who are Catholics. The gentleman I'm staying with in Beijing at the moment, he's a Muslim. I've met people on buses, in trains, anybody who will speak to me. I will talk to them about religion and God and what I'm doing and what their thoughts of that is in China. And there's 2 camps, I think. So camp number 1 is the optimists. Of course you can practice religion in China. Yeah, my mum goes to the temple. Yeah, my brother goes to church. Absolutely, my cousin's a Muslim. No problem. And then you've got the pessimists who are, oh no, we're atheists and it's not encouraged and you can only practice if you are a foreign passport holder. So I'm on the fence a bit about religion in China. I have explored so many houses of God or houses of worship or churches, temples by the bucketful. I even went to a synagogue in Harbin, and it was my first synagogue actually that I've ever been to, and I was a little bit disappointed, not because it wasn't a beautiful building, but because it's actually now a museum. So I feel like I still haven't gone into a, real life synagogue yet, but there's plenty of time for that. And what I found with some of these places, and there's beautiful, beautiful buildings around the place, which is a little bit confusing to me and disheartening, to be honest, is that they're empty. Some of them are completely empty. So when I was in Harbin, I went on a bit of a church hopping expedition, and my hosts insisted on coming with me, which was a bit cute. And we went to see some beautiful, beautiful places. And one of the places that we went was this Russian Orthodox church, which is in the city centre of Harbin, which is absolutely glorious. And when I got inside, it's empty. They don't have services. It's like a tourist destination. And the only thing that remotely links it to God is a beautiful Last Supper painting on the wall where I suggest the altar used to lay. And there's such a rich history of religion throughout China, and I've been to so many temples and spoken to so many people, but some of them are just like architecturally admired, which, hurts my heart a bit, because I think, places of worship always fill me with joy and always make me feel really close to God. And, the dedication and devotion that goes into building a place of worship, whether it be a mosque or a church or a temple or a synagogue, for them not to be used for the purpose that they were originally intended is upsetting. But hey ho, that's one of the things that I've discovered while I've been here. And then talking to people of faith here, I attended a amazing women's fellowship group in Shanghai. G'day to the ladies at AGIF. That was fabulous. They prayed for me, they shared their stories. It was absolutely beautiful. and they're all expats as well. So that was interesting to meet people from different places in the world and what their views on religion in China, and they seem to be practicing quite easily there. But then I met another woman called Flora, who's a Chinese woman who spent a lot of time in the US, and she was saying that she was struggling to find a congregation because she was a Chinese passport holder. And I thought, okay, that's a bit odd. But when I have done research on churches to attend, and there's a church I'm heading to tonight in Beijing, it does say foreign passport holders only. Anyway, rightly or wrongly, I emailed the girls that I'd attended the fellowship group with earlier in the week and said, hey, can Flora come? And they said, yep, send her down. And she goes, and she went and she loved it. I was actually supposed to meet her there, but I got stuck in Hangzhou, so I didn't. And that seemed relatively easy. The mosque that I went into had out the front big Chinese writing that said something along the lines of like, we are united, or we are one, or something about humanity that my host sort of translated for me. And I said to them, you know, do Muslims pray in there? They said, yeah, of course they do. And I was like, oh, okay, brilliant. You know, so there's obviously a strong Islamic community in Harbin. So I went sort of behind where it says you shouldn't go, just because I wanted to get a beautiful photo. And there seemed to be activity around. There seemed to be people coming in and coming and going. So, you know, there's definitely faith and practicing of Islam and Christianity and certainly Buddhism here in China. And then the synagogue, you know, was a beautiful museum, and I did learn some amazing things about the history of Jews in Harbin and how they left, you know, persecution in Russia, and you know, it was fascinating. But then when I tried to find somewhere that you can actually practice Judaism today, I couldn't find anywhere. So it sort of leaves a couple of questions sort of lingering in my mind. You know, on the Chinese government website, it says something along the lines of, citizens of the People's Republic of China have freedom of religion, and nobody can encourage or discourage or discriminate anybody's faith in any religion, or something like that. I'll put the website in the comments. So there is freedom of religion, but then it goes on to list that there's only 5 registered religions, which is a Catholic one, a Protestant one, a Buddhism one, an Islamic one, and a Taoism one, right? So is religion alive and well in China? I think so. Is it a little bit tricky to practice organized religion in China? Maybe. I think that I will really understand the limitations when I head to Tibet later on in the year. But, you know, I've even started interviewing people with Google Translate, which, keep an eye on YouTube because it's going to be Google translating about God. And there is plenty of faith here. There is plenty of people who love the Lord. And I was thinking, you know, I love going to church, and I respect and revere houses of worship, and they make me feel all warm and fuzzy and close to God. But where I think that the people of China are free, truly free with their religion, is that most of the praying that I do is when I'm walking down the street or if I'm in my house. And faith is in your heart, and that is between you and God, and nobody can take that away from you. And if you perhaps need a foreign passport to attend a non-denominational Christian church because it's not hello, because it's not registered as one of the 5 religions, You know, there's a hidden couple of Sikh gurdwaras around the place in people's houses because Sikhism isn't recognised, neither is Hinduism for that matter. But those people still have Sikhism in their heart. Those people are still Hindus through and through. They just maybe practice that at home, which I'm not saying is a good or a bad thing, but I think, you know, faith is safe in your heart. And you know, let's put aside for a second that China's supposed to be, you know, atheist, but there's a temple on every corner. And you know, I go back to what I said last week about the temple on New Year's Eve. If you're telling me that there's thousands and thousands of people before me with their hands in prayer, heads bowed, don't believe in religion. I know Buddhists don't necessarily believe in God, although they can because it's a practice, but who are they praying to? You know, obviously they respect Buddha, and you know, it's certainly not atheism in my eyes, but who knows. Anyway, that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. Please drop me questions. Send me some names of some people that you know that are Chinese, who either live in China or have lived in China, or you know, maybe their parents were, because I'm really, really interested in the Chinese culture. And having been here now for 2 weeks, I'm definitely going to be back, and I'll be exploring it more and more because I think that it's a very fascinating place. The food's amazing, love the food. The people are super friendly, and whilst, for those of you who saw my Facebook yesterday, the air pollution in Beijing was a bit ridiculous and I had to buy myself a mask, it's an incredible country and you should totally check it out. But drop me a line below, send me some love. I miss you guys. I can't wait to be live next week. I have no idea where I'll be, but hopefully I will, you know, not need a VPN to get on Facebook. Alright, God bless, have fun, the Great Wall awaits. Bye.